Hello and welcome to Die Rolling. I'm the ever excitable Adam, and today you're joining me on the floor because my table has a huge jigsaw on it, but I wanted to unbox the new Warhammer Underworlds 2-player starter set. It's the ultimate competitive miniatures game, apparently, but I mean Warhammer would say that. It's in their best interest. So what do we get in this? Well, we're going to get 3 Farside fighters, 7 Sepulchral Guard fighters, easy for me to say, a 52-page playthrough booklet, 52-page rulebook, 10 fighter cards, 2 double-sided game boards, the Farside's 32 cards Rivals deck, Sepulchral Guard 32 card Rivals deck, 114 counters and tokens, and 8 Warhammer Underworlds dice. So you're going to build your warband, you master your deck, and then battle your rivals. Nice artwork on the front. So we got to read this first, and this here is basically walking you through a 2-player game. I think you can only have a 2-player with this, to be fair, of Warhammer Underworlds. So you basically just follow this through. It talks you through everything that happens in there, this particular battle, and it kind of is supposed to teach you as you kind of move them stuff around. So I think that's probably is a good place to start. I'll probably set the game up and play through that first. Play this through so I can learn it myself before then going to the Warhammer Underworlds rulebook. So how many rules have we got in here? How many pages? There's a glossary at the back, which is good. And there's 48 pages there. It's got a little bit about warriors, rivals decks, and core sets. And the glossary at the back, as you saw. But yeah, it's kind of laid out very nicely. Lots of explanations about what's going on. Sorry for the shininess here of my my torch going on there. It also tells you what kind of colors you should be using, which is, pretty great, to be fair. If you're new at painting miniatures, or just like me, you like painting miniatures but never quite sure what official colors to use, these kind of guides are pretty nice. And then they also have what you'll be using for the Sepulchral Guard. Easy for me to say, it really isn't. And they kind of look very much Cursed City kind of miniatures, which is good because I've already painted a ton of those guys. So that's the rule book. Pretty weighty there. Lots to go through with that, I guess. And then we have our boards. So I know you can see the miniatures there. We're just going to take a look at the boards first. See how nice these are. So importantly, it's double-sided. So we have this side here, and then this side here. So that's our game board there. And we have another game board. Like that. So there's your 2 game boards. I believe you kind of set them up like this, maybe, and you go up against each other. So that's our game board there. Then we have our tokens themselves. So fairly decent thick card. I'll be honest, it's much nicer than the Cursed City, really shiny kind of gloss finish they have on there. There's these quite nice little tokens there, so that's good. And then let's take a look at our miniatures. These are push fits, so there's no need to kind of glue weirdos' heads together and stuff. Although that does look like there might be some gluing weirdos' heads together. No, it's all snap push fit and stuff, so it should be good. So we've got all these guys in white, which is pretty cool. Well, a cream kind of color, which is pretty good because if you're not planning on painting this, then it's nice that you are going to be able to differentiate the units on the board. So obviously you've got the white here, or the cream, and then you have the blue of the these Farsider chaps. So only 3 of these guys, so I imagine they're going to be pretty powerful compared to the undead you get with this. Then we have our Warhammer Underworlds dice, which, they're not numbered. They just have some special icons on, which, we're die rolling, so we do love custom dice. And there's one of them escaping there. So these are the custom dice that you get in there. Pretty nice. Functional. And then we have all our decks of cards. So we've got our Farside Rivals deck and the Sepulchral Guard's Rivals deck. So let's take a quick look through these. Okay, so what's nice, this first one here basically tells you all the cards that you're going to have in here, which is really helpful in case like this all gets mixed up with other stuff you've got. So we've got the Sanson Farstrider there. A Farstrider inspired. So it looks like these guys can all have another side. Elias Swiftblade. And Almeric Eagle Eye. Then we've got their objectives. So Ranger Strike. Score this immediately after your warband takes a second or subsequent enemy fighter out of action in the same phase. And they've got that background there. Flash of Light. Score this at the end of a phase if one or more friendly fighter are each in the edge hex in enemy territory. Primary objective. Score this in an end phase if a friendly fighter is holding the highest valued objective in enemy territory. Lightning Advance Duel. Score this in an end phase if there are 2 or more surviving friendly fighters and each of those fighters is in enemy territory. Master of the Hunt. Surge Duel. Score this immediately after a friendly fighter's attack action if that was a second or subsequent successful attack action made by that fighter in the same phase and 2 or more of those attack actions had different range characteristics. Swift Punishment. Surge scores immediately after a friendly leader or assassin's attack action that takes an enemy fighter on an objective token out of action. Without Equal, Duel. Score this at an end phase if 2 or more enemy fighters are out of action and your warband holds 1 or more objectives. Bolts of Azir. Score this in an end phase if 1 or more enemy leaders are out of action. Veteran Marksman. Score this immediately after a friendly fighter's range 3+ attack action that resulted in a critical hit. The Judgment of Sigmar. Surge. Score this immediately after a friendly fighter's range 3+ attack action that takes the target out of action. 2 more left here. So scores immediately after an activation step if each surviving friendly fighter has 1 or more move and or charge tokens and each surviving friendly fighter is in enemy territory. And then Swift Work. Scores in an end phase if the number of enemy fighters out of action is greater than the round number. And then all the other cards we've got here are blue backed. So they're different ploys. So we've got Etheric Paths there, Lightning Blow, really nice artwork on this, Rapid Volley, Covering Fire, Overcharged Boltstorm Pistol, Merciless Assault, Warning Cry, Crackling Blade, Hail of Bolts, Ceaseless Volley, Raptor Strike, Retribution, Swift Stride, Farsighted, Fearsome Roar, Incredible Stamina, Ranger's Advance, Lone Warrior, Etheric Step, and Watchful Advance. So that's everything you get in their little starter deck there, their Rivals deck. And without ever playing this game before, I don't know how this works, whether you choose some of those cards to go into battle or what. So yeah, it'll be interesting. And I'm going to be playing this with one of the die rollers. I'm not sure who's going to play this with me yet. But what'll be interesting is we're going to give this a go. We're going to give Warhammer Kill Team a go. And rumor has it that I may have Leviathan on the way as well. So I don't know how long it's going to take us to do it, but we will also at some point have a Warhammer 40k up on this as well. So yeah, you're going to see us be playing a bunch of different Warhammer type games, just to give you an idea of what is out there in case you wondered what the whole kind of deal with Warhammer is, how friendly it is to people in the who aren't in the hobby already. And yes, we'll be covering a lot on Warhammer over the coming months, I guess, or the coming year. So the Sepulchral Guard Rivals deck. I'm gonna have to Google that how to pronounce that, if I'm honest. Once again, tells you everything you need there, and I'm not going to chuck them there because I don't want to mix them all up. So let's take a look at the characters you're going to be getting in here. So there's the Sepulchral Warden. So he's got a Bone Shiver Spear. Wow, he looks pretty funky, and of course he can be inspired as well. We have the Prince of Dust. We have the Champion. I'm really looking forward to painting these guys. Not so much the kind of goodies. Well, I say goodies. There's no goodies in Warhammer, but you know the human. I'm not really that fussed about painting the humans up. There's the Harvester. Yeah, I've already painted a ton of like Sigmar guys. So these guys though, Inevitable Petitioner. These guys I'm looking forward to giving them a go and seeing how they turn out. Zealous Petitioner there. And finally, we have a rising petitioner. And this guy looks pretty cool because he's actually coming out of the ground, which don't know how that affects his speed, but you know, that's pretty cool. Okay, and then objective-wise, so we're going to read through all these like I read through the other ones, just to give you an idea if they're the same or if they're different. So Land of the Dead scores immediately after an opponent's activation step if your warband holds 2 or more objectives. The total value of those objectives is 6 and greater, or greater even. Lay claim to it all. Score this in an end phase if your warband holds more objectives than each other warband. March of the Dead, score this if an end phase if 5 or more friendly fighters each have 1 or more move and or charge tokens. They keep coming. Surge Duel scores immediately after you give a friendly fighter a raise counter and 1 or more other friendly fighters each have 1 or more raise counters. Undying Watchman, score this immediately after an opponent's activation step if your warband holds 2 or more objectives and 1 or more of those objectives in enemy territory. A Challenge Unanswered, score this in an end phase if there are more enemy fighters out of action than there are friendly fighters out of action. Invigorated Dead, score this if in an end phase if the number of surviving inspired friendly fighters is equal to or greater than the round number. Score Eternal Legions, score this in an end phase if the 3 or more friendly fighters are each in no ones and or... Sorry, let me read that again. Eternal Legions, score this in an end phase if 3 or more friendly fighters are each in no one's and or enemy's territory. So no one's territory and enemy territory. That's interesting grammar. Retake What Is Ours. Score this in an end phase if your warband holds 3 or more objectives and 1 or more of those objectives is an enemy or no one's territory. And Skills Unforgotten. Score this immediately after your leader's attack action and that takes an enemy fighter out of action. Grave Reprisal. Score this immediately after an activation step if a friendly fighter's attack action took an enemy fighter out of action and the friendly fighter has 1 or more raise counters. Then Battle Without End, scores immediately after an activation or power step in which you gave a second or subsequent friendly fighter a raise counter in the same phase. And then we've got a bunch of ploys here, so Bone Shrapnel, Terrifying Screams, Pitiless Command, Frightening Speed, Deathly Charge, Restless Dead, Inexhaustible Warriors, Petitioner's Oath, No End to Our Duty, Their Necromancer's Command, Undying, Ancient Commander, Spark of Independence, Ceaseless Attacks, Legacy of Dust, Startling Reformation, No Vitals, Worthless Chaff, A Familiar Face, and the Warden's Command. And guys, that's everything you get inside the new Warhammer Underworlds 2-player starter set by Games Workshop. So if you do want to check this game out, stay tuned to our channel because I'll be learning this myself. I may film that very first 52-page kind of walkthrough. I may not. But yes, we will be playing this game on the channel, so stay tuned for that. If you don't want to miss that, then make sure you like and subscribe to our various different social medias, our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, our Twitter, our TikTok. I've been the ever excitable Adam. Until next time, stay safe or die rolling.